Hello, and today I'll be talking about Ebola. This is an animated roundup of the recent outbreak, but for more information you can go onto the websites in the description. I'd like to explain the symptoms. So if you imagine that this stickman is you, if you had the disease, you will probably have quite a few of these. A fever, a headache, joint or muscle ache, a sore throat, you'd encounter weakness, and then you would also, in the more developed stages of Ebola, get diarrhea, vomiting, stomach pain, hiccups, a rash which can go all over your body, and liver or kidney function loss. You would also potentially have internal bleeding, which would develop into bleeding out of the eyes, ears, mouth and nose. The disease is contracted by direct contact with bodily fluids, which is why the workers wear protective suits. At the moment there is no vaccine or treatment, people are just given fluids and their blood, oxygen and blood pressure is maintained. However, ZMapp appears to be the best potential treatment, and vaccine trials are taking place, even though using a placebo has been described as unethical, as you're denying the treatment to some people with a deadly disease. We've known about Ebola since 1976, when the disease emerged in Zaire, which has a river called Ebola inside it. There have been small outbreaks throughout history, and we now know that the disease can also affect animals, including bats, birds and pigs. However, we don't know if the disease can transfer across species. There's only been one study into dogs with Ebola, and it turns out that they have had no symptoms and the disease cleared pretty quickly. At the moment, 4,000 have been killed in the recent outbreak. And now countries have decided to start doing screenings of their passengers on aeroplanes as they come into a country. However, screenings are already taking place on outgoing passengers, so you are unlikely to be tested with a different result, as it's almost impossible you would develop the symptoms during the flight. Blood tests could identify the virus, but each one takes a few hours. The African Cup of Nations hasn't changed its schedule yet, despite being fairly soon. And the recent outbreak is thought to have been due to bats. In the United States, a patient died. He wouldn't have been found to have had Ebola with the new screenings due to the 21 days where he wouldn't have had any symptoms. Screenings have led to 200 aeroplane cabin cleaners leaving their jobs. A quarter of citizens now see Ebola as a major threat to public health, and there are likely to be a few more cases than the known ones. Hospitals are running drills to prepare for if the disease would come to the United States, and the US are also helping make makeshift hospitals in affected countries, and they're sending aid workers over. The UK is having a readiness test today to see how it would cope should the disease arrive. There has only been one confirmed case of a Briton in history, and this was an aid worker who flew to Liverpool to be treated once he contracted the disease. A second UK citizen has flown straight to Macedonia, and he died in the country with Ebola-like symptoms, although it's unlikely as he didn't travel to any other countries where the disease is known to be